yeah, something that I didn't touch on, so sort of focusing more on you know, sort of the levels of Israeli military aggression prior to December, January, and since. But the siege, that's such an important thing to focus on. Really wants to, you know, can't emphasise that strongly enough. If you are campaigning around the Palestinian issue, you really need to hammer home to people that this siege is now entering its third year, and it's still going on. And if you look at the December, January attacks in the context of the siege was really tightening up in the run-up to December, like through November. Everything was tightening up. Really basic necessities were really running out. So by the time the attacks began, you'd already got a population on their knees. You'd already got hospitals very low on basic medical supplies, then trying to deal with massive numbers of very serious casualties in that context. And then since the attacks, you've got a situation where, as Adi said, you know, you've got nearly 20,000 homes either totally destroyed or so severely damaged they're uninhabitable, about 100,000 people homeless, and no reconstruction whatsoever. You know, more than 6 months later, you'd think, you know, that rebuilding would be going on. No, not at all. They're only just beginning to clear the rubble away. No reconstruction materials getting in. Cement is banned by the Israelis from entering the Gaza Strip as part of the siege. And, you know, and Eddie did, you know, outline how the amount of humanitarian aid getting in is just not enough to cope with this crisis. So you've got civilians severely affected by the attacks, not able to rebuild their lives in a practical way, because many people, you know, families are still living in tents. Families are still living under sort of cavities, under collapsed stories of homes. It's you wouldn't believe it unless you saw it. So please do hammer home the issue about the siege. It must be ended immediately.
We're going to round this up in a second, but I was just wondering, you're going around Britain at the moment, basically telling this story, and there's a lot of people here from London, those kind of areas, and I was just wondering, I mean, are you going down that way? Is there something that maybe you could do something practical? I mean, it's all fine and well talking to, well, I think it is important to talk to people like us who do understand a little bit more, but there are people there, even minorities within the Green Party, who need to be told these stories, who need to know this information, and if you're, maybe something practical we could do about that. You're interested in coming to London?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, in terms of emphasis, siege, and I think the BDS, the sanctions, boycotts, sanctions, divestment, that's something started from Palestinians, trade unions, and everybody else got a coalition together, and universities and everybody else, and asked campaigners, look guys, nothing's working here, it's got to be cranked up here. There's been a brilliant article written by Naomi Klein about the importance of boycotts now. It's been long since time, and she's actually come out and said, when she was in the West Bank recently, the reason she didn't call for boycotts before is because she was a coward. And basically that is obviously all part of this problem. Just a small point about the siege and what can come in or not. One of the reasons why our boat had so much difficulty leaving Cyprus, Cyprus authorities have been traditionally very supportive of these boats that left, and were very supportive of your first one. Ours, Israel was leaving pressure on Cyprus authorities, Cypriot authorities by then. And one of the reasons was because we were going to bring in 300 bags of cement, which is banned by the blockade. We wanted to put everything on the boat, toys we had, which were a lot banned, and working books, student books and things like that, that were also banned, and certain medical supplies are banned. So we just got all together, all symbolic things that were banned on the boat, and it was the 300 tons of cement that was the major problem. We got one bag of cement with the video camera, there was TV cameras there, to put on the boat. The hilarious part is that obviously the boat was taken. When we got to the prison, there was 4 bags of cement sitting there outside one of the cells. And we think, damn, they had them already. And that was obviously Israel. But you know, this is the manical, farcical thing. I mean, look at what we had to go through to get some of these basic requirements through. And you know, this is we were creeping around the boat at 2 in the morning, and they had the warships chasing us and telling us that we were going to open fire in 5 minutes the first time we got you know, near them. This is with a Nobel Peace Prize winner, Mairead Maguire, Cynthia McKinney, the US, she was congresswoman. All of us were put in prison for 6 nights. Imagine if we were taking stuff in to Iran on an aid boat. We got abducted at sea by their special forces, thrown around, shoved in prison for 6 nights. We'd have been the Tehran 2021, you know, we'd have been on the front pages, and we'd have been like, free them now, and Hillary Clinton, just like she did for the journalist, the American journalist that was in Iran, coming out and speaking on her behalf. We were bringing aid, you know. Imagine this in all the parts of the world. This is what it is. It's that maniacal. It's that it's that crazy. And I just think that, you know, we can make things happen here. This is something that the international community can do something about. And it's, you know, really, I think it's great. And I know that the Green Left supported the occupations in Manchester, the student occupations, and has come out and spoken very well on this. So yeah, I mean, it's just credit to you for what you're doing and dealing with all the peps. But it's one part of any struggle, and we could always be in a struggle where we're actually getting shot at and everything else. So these kind of things are annoying and they can be deflating at times, but they're not what the Palestinians are facing right now. I think that's always the thing to deal with. So any last words from anyone else? I don't know, from you particularly.